We are kicking off today with Roman Reigns, who may have endured 3 brutal tsunamis from Bronson Reed on Raw, but those fearing the tribal chief had quietly exited WWE for Hollywood can breathe a sigh of relief. While early reports claimed the brutal beatdown was WWE's way of writing Reigns off TV to begin filming the upcoming Street Fighter movie, a new update suggests otherwise. Reigns is expected to stick around for a little longer before making his temporary exit. According to PW Insider, filming for Street Fighter hasn't even started yet and won't begin until September 2nd. The report stated, "We've been asked about rumors that Roman Reigns was beaten down on Raw to write him out to film the forthcoming Street Fighter film. In speaking with Hollywood sources, the Street Fighter film does not begin production until September, and Reigns is slated to work for 4 weeks on the set, starting on September 2nd. They added another crucial detail concerning Cody Rhodes and the filming schedule. As long as the production runs on time, we're told Reigns would finish his commitments the week of 9/26. Cody Rhodes also has a role in the film, but we're told he is not expected to be on set as long as Reigns." Backing that up, Reigns is now officially advertised for WWE Raw in 2 weeks when the show rolls into Philadelphia. That lines up with the film's production schedule and confirms that Roman isn't done with WWE just yet. So while Monday's episode teased a dramatic exit, the real story is far from over. Fans will get at least one more major appearance from the head of the table before he shifts onto his next big project. Are you glad Roman Reigns is sticking around for a bit longer before filming? Share your thoughts in the comments below. After weeks of silence and no storyline resolution, Austin Theory has now been officially removed from WWE's internal active roster, a move that instantly sparked rumors of a quiet release. However, those concerns can be put to rest for now. Despite the change in status, Theory has not been released from the company. According to internal documents reported by Fightful Select, Theory is still part of WWE's talent pool, but he's now listed among the injured names backstage. He's reportedly grouped with sideline stars like Zoe Stark and Ilya Dragunov. WWE has not publicly disclosed the nature or severity of Theory's injury, but this internal update appears to explain why he disappeared from television without any form of on-screen closure. Theory last competed at the WWE Raw tapings on July 14th, appearing on WWE Main Event. Since then, there's been zero follow-up, no match announcements, no backstage updates, and no social media acknowledgement. Aside from a vague on-air mention that he was injured, WWE has offered no clarity, leaving fans to speculate in the dark. What's added to the confusion is the sudden disappearance of the A-Town Down Under storyline. WWE had spent months planting seeds of a breakup between Theory and Grayson Waller, with live crowds even chanting "Turn on Grayson" in anticipation. But without warning or explanation, the storyline was shelved. Waller has since been paired with the New Day in a new direction, and Theory has been left out of the picture entirely. While it's now clear that Theory's absence is tied to an injury rather than a release, the lack of narrative payoff and communication continues to frustrate fans. Do you think WWE mishandled Theory's exit from TV? And how should they bring him back once he's healthy? Sound off in the comments below. Moving on, as there was a monumental announcement WWE made yesterday, revealing that its PLEs will be moving from Peacock to ESPN's new $29.99 per month streaming platform, a significant shift for fans to adjust to. This new deal is reportedly costing Disney $1.6 billion, representing a significant financial gain for WWE, which was previously earning $900 million from Peacock. As ESPN will have the exclusive rights to the PLEs in this new era beginning in 2026, WWE will benefit from this arrangement. The deal will last for 5 years and will see ESPN pay $325 million annually. This is a deal that both companies have been working on for a while, particularly due to ESPN's partnership with UFC. This is going to bring an end to WWE's partnership with Peacock, with fans now having to pay $29.99 to access ESPN's service, while also paying for Netflix to view Raw on a weekly basis. That's a major increase, given WWE fans only pay $10.99 on Peacock. However, if people already have ESPN through an existing cable or live TV streaming service, then they'll already be covered. Similarly, those with Hulu Live, DirecTV, Charter, Fubo TV, or Verizon Fios will also have access to the PLEs at no additional cost. WWE's decision was met with backlash from fans who are unhappy about the rising prices involved in watching the company right now. Some even admitted that they might stop watching if they're unable to afford one big show that they look forward to. That causes a problem for WWE, as fans leaving for a period might not return, with some believing it's a matter of time before that decision is made. However, some fans have already been quick to point out a potential loophole, as people are looking into getting VPNs, which allow them to pretend to be in Canada or the United Kingdom, thereby gaining access to WWE's PLEs via Netflix. From WWE's perspective, being part of ESPN will provide even more exposure. The deal is obviously financially beneficial, and the strategy aligns them with UFC, which is beneficial for TKO. It wasn't just fans who were kept in the dark about this news though, as Cody Rhodes admitted he wasn't made aware of it ahead of time, but had been teased that something big was going to be announced and that he should be ready. Rhodes admitted that it's an honor to be a part of the ESPN family, as he believes they're the king of sports media, making this a perfect fit. Meanwhile, Roman Reigns believes it's something new for WWE that is even bigger and better than what's been done before, as he praised Nick Khan and Triple H for leveling up WWE. WWE will return to Las Vegas in 2026 for WrestleMania 42, a move that proved to be controversial after the company had previously announced the show would take place in New Orleans. However, the 43rd edition of the grandest stage of them all could end up being the first outside North America. Saudi Arabian General Entertainment Authority Chairman Turki Al-Sheikh hinted WrestleMania 43 could end up taking place in the Middle Eastern nation, which would be a significant change for WWE's biggest show of the year. Al-Sheikh revealed on X that a huge entertainment event he signed a while ago will take place in 2027, which has had fans speculating that WWE will be taking the show international. A fan asked if that was the case, to which he responded with emojis, one of an upside-down face and the other a face with sunglasses. Enjoying the video? A quick like goes a long way in helping us grow and deliver more wrestling news you care about. More news from WWE as Triple H has officially broken his silence on Brock Lesnar's return to WWE, confirming what many insiders already suspected. After a year-long absence and his removal from all internal communications amid the Janelle Grant lawsuit, Lesnar unexpectedly re-emerged at SummerSlam. Now WWE's chief content officer is making it clear this comeback wasn't a long-term plan, it was a green-light decision made once the legal dust settled. Appearing on ESPN's Get Up, Triple H was directly asked by host Peter Schrager about Brock Lesnar's current status in WWE. Triple H confirmed that once WWE and TKO's legal teams gave the green light, the company reached out to Lesnar, and the Beast Incarnate was all in. He said, "We're thrilled to have the Beast back. You know, once he got the green light, we hit him up and said time to come home, and he was into it. And here we are, a massive, massive moment for our WWE fans, something they thought they wouldn't get to see." While the return was explosive, the actual negotiations came together much faster than most expected. Over on the MMA Hour, Paul Heyman told Ariel Helwani that the deal was closed within just a couple of weeks, and he only got involved after everything was already in motion. That happened real quick. That happened in a couple of weeks. I got tagged into it after the deal was done. He wasn't going to come back on speculation. He is Brock Lesnar. Heyman also dismissed criticism from fans and media alike, saying the crowd's real-time reaction said more than any online discourse. Nah, I don't pay attention to the criticism, he's here. If you were at MetLife Stadium on Sunday, you'd understand that return meant a lot to that audience. That audience was jacked to see Brock Lesnar come out and see him F5 John Cena. Nobody left the stadium saying, "Oh God, they brought back Brock." People were nuts. That's our paying audience. They were happy to see him. Staying on the topic of fan backlash, Heyman didn't back down, saying, "There are people that criticize Jesus, there are people that criticize Moses, Muhammad, and God. There's no precedent that has existed that has a 100% approval rating. Obviously, the decision was made. It's time to bring back Brock Lesnar." Whether you agree or not, Lesnar's return has undeniably shifted WWE's landscape, and the company is standing firmly behind that choice. Now the only question that remains, how long does the Beast plan to stick around? What do you think about Triple H and Heyman's comments? Sound off in our comments below. MVP is back in the spotlight, but not for the reasons AEW fans might hope. According to a detailed report from Fightful Select, the former WWE manager is drawing internal criticism over his growing creative influence on the Hurt Syndicate's AEW Tag Team Championship reign, and it's creating friction behind the scenes. The tension spilled into public view following a recent Twitter space hosted by the Wrestling Binders J-Cup 2013. The conversation opened the door to long-standing concerns about MVP's handling of the Hurt Syndicate's booking, including his alleged resistance to key match outcomes. AEW reportedly pitched FTR to defeat the faction at All In, and again at Forbidden Door as part of a redemption arc. However, MVP is said to have pushed back, expressing that he preferred to drop the belts to younger teams instead. Internally, he named Gates of Agony, the Outrunners, and Private Party as acceptable choices, but since Hurt Syndicate has already beaten all of them, the suggestion didn't go over well with AEW Creative and much of the locker room. Frustrations also extend to the group's presentation. Some AEW talent have criticized the faction's inconsistent character work, noting that despite being positioned as heels, they often engage in fan-friendly behavior post-match, including high-fiving fans, a move that has reportedly annoyed both wrestlers and AEW creative staff. One of the more personal points of tension centers around MVP's apparent dislike of Speedball Mike Bailey. Though no direct incident is known, multiple AEW sources say MVP made it clear he did not want the Hurt Syndicate to lose to Bailey and his Jet Speed tag partner Kevin Knight. No finish was finalized, but the resistance reportedly added to the mounting frustration. Notably, Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin, the other two members of the faction, are not believed to be involved in any backstage drama. All three are under multi-year AEW contracts with no signs of an early exit or breakup. AEW had internally discussed a longer-term program involving MJF and the Hurt Syndicate, but that storyline appears to have concluded sooner than initially planned. Sources close to the situation confirmed there's no heat between MJF and the group, despite the storyline being wrapped up. Amid the swirling rumors, MVP addressed the noise with a simple tweet, "Heard any good rumors lately?" While the message doesn't confirm or deny anything, it's clear MVP is brushing off the controversy publicly, even if locker room tensions are continuing to grow. Do you think the Hurt Syndicate should drop the titles soon? Is MVP helping or hurting AEW's tag division with his current stance? Sound off in the comments below. Fans were recently treated to an exciting two-night SummerSlam that saw plenty of thrilling moments take place, from Seth Rollins cashing in his Money in the Bank to Brock Lesnar's return. But one highlight was Jelly Roll stepping into the ring for the first time. The popular musician put on a great performance, but fans were left surprised that he ended up being defeated, with Jelly Roll getting pinned by Logan Paul to end the match. It's an unusual situation for a celebrity, but that's precisely why it happened. Jelly Roll revealed to Cody Rhodes on his What Do You Want to Talk About podcast that he requested to Triple H that he would lose. Jelly Roll felt that celebrities always win their matches, but he also thought that if he was beaten, then there was a reason to come back, as he could pop up at any time, seemingly hinting that he's not done. As requested by our subscribers, we won't be providing a full AEW Dynamite review this week, but we will cover some of the biggest talking points from the episode. Speedball Mike Bailey competed against Jon Moxley this week and proved his quality against the Death Rider star, having his number at multiple points in the match as he appeared to push Moxley to the point of desperation. Ultimately, interference from Wheeler Yuta and Marina Shafir ensured that Moxley got the win to avoid what would have been an upset defeat at this stage in their careers. Still, Bailey came close at several points with some believable near falls that built the drama. Moxley did kick out of back-to-back time adventures, which was a strange booking decision because there is no doubt that it devalued Speedball's finisher. However, his overall presentation will likely have raised his stock after this particular match. Fans were disappointed that Bailey didn't win by the end, and that's a good indication of what's to come for the Jet Speed star, meaning he can be a priority wrestler moving forward, either as a tag team or singles wrestler. The match also saw a rather unique angle take place outside the ring as Yuta ended up being kidnapped by Darby Allin in the middle of it, covering him with a rag as he dragged Moxley's friend away and through the crowd. This was seemingly done to add more heat to Allin and Moxley's storyline, as when they found Yuta later on, he had the words "Forbidden Door" taped to his head. It seems that Moxley vs. Darby Allin is the plan for the pay-per-view, and given how intense this storyline is, it's unlikely that it'll end up being a normal singles match, as both men enjoy working violent styles. Both men could use a decisive win at this stage in their careers, therefore it'll be interesting to see who emerges victorious between them. In the women's division, there was a fatal four-way match to determine who would challenge for the TBS Championship at Forbidden Door, and it was Alex Windsor who got the win to book her place at the event. Toni Storm had to make sure that Athena was unable to save Billy Starks, and that's when Windsor got the roll-up to win it and earn a future title match. Mercedes Moné wasted no time in building up some heat for their match as she turned up to taunt her upcoming opponent with the title, eventually dropping Windsor with a backstabber as the Forever Champion nailed Toni Storm with an O-face. The match itself was entertaining, even though it was slightly sloppy at points, with Queen Aminata being the true star of the encounter as she proved that Tony Khan needs to make her a champion at some point in the future. The rapid development of Windsor has been clear to see, which is what makes her an interesting rival for Moné. She ended up being the most sensible choice for the title match, which will take place at the O2 Arena in London, England. The CEO is currently collecting titles, and it may be time to take a title off her, which would solidify Windsor's position in AEW and create a massive moment in London for the British fans. The teases with Athena and Storm showcase that Mone still has her sights set on the AEW Women's title, which also pushes the idea that she could drop the TBS title to go for AEW's top prize. Right now, it's tough to predict who will win out of Storm or Athena, but the Forever Champion does need the win more right now. Don Callis, Lance Archer, Hechicero, and Josh Alexander appeared on AEW Dynamite in order to celebrate the new TNT champion Kyle Fletcher, as he mocked Dustin Rhodes and Adam Cole as victims of his greatness, with both men sidelined with serious injuries. Callis presented Fletcher with a grotesque painting before the Protostar announced he would defend his TNT championship for the first time on Collision this week. The celebration was well earned for Fletcher, who has been one of AEW's most impressive performers lately, but it was set up to be intentionally annoying to help gain him further heat. The Callis painting segments are always a wild ride, but the young wrestler continues to prove he's his manager's favorite son, as his performances have steadily grown and improved as he's developed in the business. However, given all the enemies that the Callis family has grown in recent times, there is going to be no shortage of wrestlers ready to step up and challenge the Protostar, as Fletcher looks to live up to his promise that he's the greatest TNT champion ever. The artist behind the painting has also been revealed, as Mel Coleman took to Twitter to share the original concept sketches of the painting, featuring Callis alongside Fletcher with the TNT title. It was an interesting behind-the-scenes peek, as it showed the evolution of the painting that fans would eventually see on Dynamite. Elsewhere, Adam Copeland revealed that he will fight Stokely Hathaway next week in a backstage interview, and FTR would void the restraining order they have in place if they choose to get involved. FTR then tried to hype up Stokely, who got worked up and talked trash to Copeland, claiming he'll have a bigger smile on his face when Copeland has to tell his wife, who he said has the head of a micro-brawler, that he beat him. The World Tag Eliminator Tournament continued this week as the Young Bucks battled Brodido in a match that delivered non-stop action from the moment the bell rang, although Matt and Nick Jackson did feel more like a cohesive team. The momentum would shift throughout the match, which led to Brody King and Bandito debuting a new tag team finisher to win the encounter in what was one of the best tag team matches of the year for AEW. The Young Bucks have been delivering unforgettable matches ever since All In, with every encounter feeling like a pay-per-view level match, and they clicked well with Brodido immediately inside the ring, helping to put over the new team. Both teams feature huge names, therefore it didn't matter who won, especially since neither are likely to defeat FTR on their way to challenging the Hurt Syndicate due to their ongoing storyline. Despite that, Brodido could be an interesting threat to the Hurt Business regardless of next week's result, and while they seem like an odd couple pairing, it's ended up turning into something spectacular as they've shown their ability to make the team work. Interestingly, the Young Bucks demanded some respect backstage beforehand from production and Justin Roberts, handing him a card to read word for word, but they struggled to get past their Titantron. They ended up being listed as Max and Jeremy on the title card this week, which is a nod to when they worked as Generation Me in TNA. The fans initially called them jobbers, but ultimately came to appreciate all the big moves that took place, with both teams winning over the audience due to their in-ring performances. Renee Paquette interviewed Swerve Strickland this week, as he made it clear that while he respects Kazuchika Okada, he does not fear him. Strickland pointed out his own poor history in London over the years ahead of that match, but he still promised to defeat the Rainmaker at Forbidden Door. It wasn't a particularly memorable promo, but it allowed Swerve to push himself, and it was an effective way of building the match without Okada being on the show. Nothing else needs to be done to sell the match now, but Swerve having a promo battle with Don Callis would help. The Hurt Syndicate promised to hurt either FTR or Brodido at Forbidden Door, but then MJF appeared and tried to clear the air with MVP, only to receive a third thumbs down. In the same segment, MVP warned MJF that Bobby Lashley would go after him if he won the AEW World title in the future. We're ending today with MJF, who opened the show by taunting Adam Page and Mark Briscoe as he bragged about winning the CMLL World Light Heavyweight title, which only added more heat to the match between MJF and Briscoe. Briscoe was fired up when the encounter began, and he had MJF on the ropes throughout what was a physical match, but after avoiding an outside froggy bow, MJF took control by sending Briscoe through a table. Briscoe barely made the 10 count after this spot, and he immediately walked into a heat seeker, allowing MJF to get the 3 count. However, Mark had his foot on the ropes during the pin, but Bryce Remsburg ended up missing it. MJF wasn't done there though, as afterward he bloodied Briscoe with his Dynamite Diamond Ring, which led to Adam Page charging out from the back to brawl with the Salt of the Earth. MJF and Briscoe did a great job bringing the intensity despite their match not being a street fight, which would have benefited the feud that they're having. It was the best match of Mark's recent set of main events, and AEW should consider running this again, only with a stipulation next time. The stage is now set for Paige and MJF to fight at Forbidden Door, which is a guaranteed winner in terms of pay-per-view quality, although Paige versus Briscoe was slightly more intriguing due to the unknown element. AEW could opt for a triple threat here, with every potential option working. However, it is another AEW-focused match on Forbidden Door, which is an event that needs more representation from New Japan Pro Wrestling, CMLL, and Stardom to feel worthwhile. How did you find AEW Dynamite this week? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below.